Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now Bitcoin is currently pumping to the upside, but we're still finding major resistance along this price range. This range of resistance right here is definitely important for all Bitcoin holders to pay attention to. Also, Bitcoin is still forming some bullish patterns on the smaller timeframes that I mentioned yesterday on the channel. And even though this Bitcoin chart suggests a Bitcoin bottom very soon, this chart right here reveals that the Bitcoin correction is potentially not over just yet. I'll be covering all of that and more in this video, so definitely stick around all the way to the end of this video so that you're not missing out on any of this important information. And just before we jump into it, make sure to leave a like on the video down below. And if you're new to the channel, you might as well subscribe with notifications turned on for more update videos just like this every single day. And this video is coming out a little bit later than normal simply because of the recent Bitcoin pump in the shorter term, because I recorded and edited an entire video and then Bitcoin experienced this pump in the short term. So I re-recorded the intro of this video, but the rest of this video, you will notice that the recent Bitcoin pump just here in the short term is not included because once again I recorded the video just before this happened. But with that being said, all of the analysis that I talk about in this video is still valid even after we've seen this pump to the upside. So with all of that out of the way, on with the video. Let's get straight to what this video is about. So right here we're on the Bitcoin US dollar charts on the 3-hour time frame, and as you can see here, we've got this range of previous supports mapped out on the chart, and this has now officially been flipped into resistance. I let you know in my last Bitcoin update video that I posted yesterday on the channel that ideally we need to break above $60,000 US and hold that level in order to continue any sort of recovery here. But if you're looking in the 3-hour RSI, we are still trending to the upside, which is still a good sign for the bulls in the shorter term. So basically in the shorter term, there still is some hope here for the bulls, but technically speaking in the shorter term, talking about the smaller timeframes like this 3-hour chart, for example, we are still in a downtrend. We are making lower highs and lower lows in the price. And obviously we have not confirmed a new uptrend yet. So keep that in mind. Now zooming out to the daily time frame for Bitcoin, and as you can see here, we're still potentially forming this falling wedge pattern, but as I mentioned yesterday, ideally I would like to see another touch point along this line of resistance coming in at around 62,000 in order to confirm that this pattern is actually forming, because right now we don't really have a whole lot of touch points along this line of resistance. And what we can see here on the daily RSI is the fact that obviously we are still trending to the downside, which is one signal to us that the bottom has not necessarily been confirmed just yet. I explained this in more detail in my last Bitcoin update video, but ideally we need to start breaking above this point of resistance in the daily RSI and start putting in some new highs and new lows like what we saw back here at the end of September leading into the beginning of October. And also once we can see a bullish cross in the daily MACD, that is also another signal that we could look at to potentially determine the bottom for the correction and prepare ourselves for another bullish move back to the upside. These are simply the same sort of things that we've seen on the charts and in these indicators for most of these major market bottoms for Bitcoin. And what you'll notice about this last correction that we saw back in September is the fact that it bottomed out along the exact 120-day SMA. And right now, this simple moving average is coming in at around $52,000. But keep in mind, every single day it is ascending to the upside while the price action is above this moving average. So if we do end up coming towards that moving average, then by the time we do that, it could be coming in at more like 53 to 54,000. And that would also align with this line of support coming in at around 55K. So as I've been constantly saying for basically the last week now on the channel, if we do end up breaking this low and forming a brand new lower low, then Bitcoin simply has a lot of supports coming in at around 54K, and also at 53,000 was this previous high that we set back in the beginning of September, and usually previous resistance like that flips into new support. So at around 53 to 54,000 is a major level that I would be looking at if we do break into a new lower low for this correction. And obviously in that case, that would bring down the daily RSI even closer towards oversold territories, giving us more confidence that we are closer towards the market bottom. But once again, that only really confirms once we begin a new uptrend in the daily RSI and once we ideally see a bullish cross in the daily MACD, which obviously we still haven't seen at least just yet. Now taking a look at this important chart right here. This is the US dollar currency index on the daily time frame, and it goes by the ticker DXY. This chart is honestly really important to pay attention to for not just Bitcoin holders, but honestly anyone that is invested in anything that has a US dollar pair, because obviously if the US dollar is increasing in value, then things that are paired against the US dollar are more likely to move to the downside or experience a little bit of bearish price action. And as you can see here, once again on the daily DXY charts, throughout the last 2 weeks approximately, this chart has been moving to the upside while Bitcoin has has been moving to the downside, generally speaking. And also for the most part of this move just here, the stock market was also showing a little bit of bearish price action. And when was the last time that we moved to the upside here in the DXY chart on the daily time frame? Well, that was back during September. This right here was September. And as I just explained, September was where we saw a correction for Bitcoin. And then we only started flipping bullish again for Bitcoin in the beginning of October when the DXY started topping out and entering into a correction itself. So what we call this is an inverse correlation between the DXY and Bitcoin. Obviously, it's not a perfect inverse correlation, but usually when this is trending to the upside, you should be expecting some bearish price action for Bitcoin. And usually when this is trending to the downside, you should be expecting some bullish price action for Bitcoin. Once again, that's not always the case, but especially recently, it has been the case. And what you'll notice here with this DXY chart is the fact that we flipped this major point of resistance into new support, which is technically a bullish sign for the US dollar and technically a bearish sign for Bitcoin. But with that being said, looking in the daily RSI, we are basically towards the top of the RSI band. And what you'll notice here is the last few times that that's happened for the US dollar, we've seen a little bit of a cool off not too far away, possibly over the next few weeks or so. And once again, that could signal some bullish price action coming into play sometime soon for Bitcoin if this US dollar currency index starts moving back to the downside again. So this is just another chart that I am paying attention to right now, and I'll be sure to keep you updated on this DXY chart. And if you appreciate that or simply got something valuable out of this video, make sure to leave a like down below. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe with notifications turned on so that you're not missing out on any of these future updates that I post every single day. And before clicking off, make sure you're checking out one of these uploads if you haven't seen them already, because these videos just here can potentially help you make a lot more money in the crypto markets. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for this video. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.